Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. We've got some more Pink Zebra on deck today because I know how much most of you love watching the Pink Zebra training calls. They are just about as cringe as they come. But before we dive into it, let's address a couple of things. First of all, cheers. We've got adult beverages because it's my birthday.
It's time to celebrate me.
I'm 37 today, and I was saying the other day that for whatever reason, 37 really sounds like an adult. Like 36 didn't sound too much like an adult. 37, it feels like I really need to get my shit together. And I don't have any kind of resemblance of that happening in my life, so... Should be a fun year. Anyway, also,
it's Christmas time.
Once my birthday hits, I'm decorated for Christmas. I love Christmas. This is my elf tree. I would like to introduce you to her. But that's not why you're here. Just wanted to address it really quick. We're gonna get right the fuck into it right after the disclaimer. Now, really quickly, if you're not familiar with Pink Zebra, they are an MLM, multi-level marketing company, network marketing company, social selling company. Some people would even refer to them as a pyramid scheme because of the way that they run their pyramid-like business structure. In order to rank up or level up or whatever they call it and make more money to make your way toward a potential but very unlikely livable wage, you have to recruit more and more people and have them recruit more and more people, and so on and so forth. You get the drift. Now, they do have products. Their products of choice are scented products. If you've been to my channel before, you're probably familiar with Scentsy. They are very much similar to Scentsy. I used to refer them as the Scentsy knockoff.
Shots fired. Repeat, shots fired.
When I was in Scentsy and I was doing the shows and all of those things, I was seeing the Pink Zebra products and comparing them to Scentsy, even though I am fully against all MLMs, all of them, every single one. Scentsy's products are way better quality than like the warmers and stuff that Pink Zebra pushes out. That's just my opinion.
Opinions are like assholes.
Everyone's got one.
You form your own opinion, research the products, but anyway, that's their product of choice that they utilize to recruit more and more people into the scheme. Now, what we're reacting to today is a team training and opportunity, quote unquote, event. It's a little bit of an older training, but it popped up on my YouTube and I think it's definitely worth a watch. These are tactics that are still being used across all MLMs, specifically in Pink Zebra in this situation, but it's very much still relevant in terms of what they're doing to train and all of those fun MLM things. Let's get into it.
Okay, so we're recording. Hi, everybody, and welcome. So my name is Melina Dixon. This is our Tuesday team training. We do this the second and fourth Tuesday of the month, and I totally thought we were supposed to do it last week, which is really funny. And then I realized, no, I had the wrong Tuesday. So we're going to spend like the first 10 to 15 minutes having this as like an opportunity chat. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my Pink Zebra journey. We've got two guests on. We've got Kat and we have Destiny. And so y'all don't be shy. Like, you're in a safe place. If you have questions, it's totally okay to ask. You can type them in the chat, or you can come off mute and ask them, verbally. It's whatever your preference is, but the goal is for y'all to leave with all your questions answered. Basically anything you want to know about, being a Pink Zebra consultant, kind of what that's like, so that you can make a decision on if you want to join our really cool team or not. So I'll very, very, very quickly give y'all my Pink Zebra story, because I've been doing this for almost 10 years. So I have a lot of things that I could share, and I don't want to keep y'all here all night. So I'll try and be brief. But basically, when I joined Pink Zebra, it was because I fell in love with the products. I had hosted a party for a friend, and she came over, she set everything up in my living room, and I was like, oh my gosh, this product is so cool, so unique. And I basically knew that all my friends and family were going to fall in love with it. And I was like, well, I want to be the cool girl to tell them about it. So it was kind of a little bit of like fear of missing out for me. I was worried they'd hear about it from someone else, and I really wanted to be the one to share the products with them. So I joined, and I really didn't have clear-cut goals. I just knew that I wanted to have fun. I wanted to share the product, and I was kind of in a place where we'll just see where this goes. Now,
Picture this. You join a business without any idea of what you want to do, no plans, no real idea of how to sell the product. You just decided to buy in and give it a shot. That's not how business works. You have to have some kind of knowledge behind what you're doing. And that is why so many people that join MLMs, in my opinion, end up failing out of the MLM. You cannot make a livable wage and recruit more and more people if you have no idea how this business model works and how you're going to find any kind of success in terms of finances within the MLM business model. You have to have some kind of backing to have long-term sustainable success in any kind of business.
I don't know if I necessarily recommend that for people now. Like, I think you should have goals because it's good to have something to work towards. But me, I was just like, we're going to have some fun.
Oh yeah, and the goals thing. You need to have goals. If you don't have goals within your business, you're not going to be motivated to work. Like if I sat here and said, I have no goals for my YouTube channel, but it's going to be my job.
Oh yeah, that sounds pretty dumb.
It's not going to work out in my favor. You have to have goals. You have to have something you're working toward. Even if you don't hit that goal in the time frame that you wanted to hit it, you're still working toward that goal. And without that goal, you have no idea what you're doing or what you're working toward. You need the goals. So don't say that you didn't know what you were doing and you also had no goals. This is a bad setup right off the bat.
So within 6 months of being a Pink Zebra consultant, I had already started to build a little team. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't think that was going to happen. Before Pink Zebra, I had been a direct seller in another company. And I thought, well, anyone that could possibly want to join my team, they already had their chance with that other company. So, it's probably going to be just me selling the product. But like I said, I had built a little team and I was consistently selling around $1,000 every month. And I was hooked after that. I was like, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to see what else is out there for me. So I'll like fast forward to kind of current day and kind of give you some highlights. So over the last 9.5 years, I've built a team of about 245 consultants. We're across the US and we've got a couple sprinkled up in Canada. I'm currently an executive manager with the company. So I have promoted 4 times now. I had to count real quick in my head, 4 times, which is really fun because there's perks at every level. And it just means more people for me to get to work with in this business. So my passion really is, well, I have 2 passions: customer service, which makes me great in this business as far as like selling and building relationships with my customers. And then teaching is my other passion, which works out really good on the leadership side. So,
okay, that's wonderful. I think it's great that people have the desire to teach, the ability to teach. What are you trained in that you can teach on this business? What are you actually trained in? Did you go to school for a business degree? Did you go to some kind of trade school that somehow relates to this? Something's telling me that's not the case. You don't have the means to be a teacher for something you haven't even figured out yet.
We have a pretty cool group. I'll tell you all about that in a second. But over the last 9.5 years, I've earned several incentive trips. I've traveled to Panama, Dominican Republic, Ireland. In 2020, we could not go on the trip, so they gave me cash instead. And last year, even in the middle of a pandemic, I went to Aruba and it was amazing. I've also had opportunities to train and teach at our bigger company events, and that gets me so excited. Like Vicky has known me for a while now, so she knows like I just love to share. Our whole group is really kind of like that. Like we have a really special team group. I'm totally biased, I know I am, but everyone is willing to share ideas. Everyone is willing to help each other, and that's just really special because you don't always see that in every company or every team. So I do think that we are pretty fabulous in that respect. So enough about me. I want to make sure that you do have some highlights about the company because you may not know, but our founders are Tom and Kelly Gaines, and they the home office is actually located in Sugar Land, Texas. And prior to Pink Zebra, they created fragrance products for a lot of major retailers like Walmart. Like everyone in the world knows Walmart. And they worked for a company that created the wax that Walmart sold. They also created products for other brands like Pier 1, Bath and Body Works. And the list really goes on and on. They were a major supplier of fragrance products to US retailers. And they, I think they realized that they wanted to have like more of a direct relationship with customers. And they realized that they could do that by building a sales force of consultants. So the direct sales model made the most sense for what they wanted to achieve. They figured like they had to hire a team of people that knew how to make all that happen.
What is it that they wanted to achieve? Did they want to achieve more money and they figured, let's see if we could scam people? Maybe that's what happened. But again, that's just a theory that I came up with in my head on my own. I don't know that to be true. You form your own opinions.
And in September of 2011, Pink Zebra opened its doors. So we've been around not quite 11 years. Like 10 and a half-ish. So they're amazing people. Like I see them at company events and on these incentive trips that we go on, and they are so kind, so generous, so real, and so down to earth. And I think that's really cool. And I think overall our company culture, we're all like nice humans and we're all about helping each other. Like that's totally like built in our culture.
Humanity.
As far as the products go, if you don't know, oh my gosh, they're amazing. They're incredibly like fragrant. They're high quality. And Pink Zebra puts a lot of time and money and effort into researching product trends. I've been a part of our fragrance focus group.
So they market, they work on marketing. They spend money in marketing. Most businesses do that. It's pretty necessary in order to make a profit. And if these individuals were people who went to school to get some kind of education to teach people how to run a business, they would already know that. They wouldn't even need to be talking about how they have an allotted amount of money for essentially marketing.
I've been able to test fragrances that have shown up in, our line, which is really cool. They take all of that stuff really, really seriously. And they're constantly improving the website, programs, basically everything just to make the consultant experience better, but then also the customer experience better. So with that, I'm going to stop because I could go like 10 hours. We could be talking till tomorrow because there's just so many wonderful things to say. But what I'd love for Destiny and Kat to do, if y'all are like not too shy, and I'm so sorry to put you on the spot, but feel free to ask like any questions, like what do you want to know? Because I gave you like the overview. I didn't get into like a lot of nuts and bolts. I didn't talk about like what comes in the kit and all of that stuff. So what would you like to know? Because I would be happy to answer that for y'all.
So one of my questions is like, how does the product work? Like for selling, do we keep product in our homes? Do they all buy it right offline? Like, because like I said, I've been looking into it, but there's no real true answer to that I've been able to find.
Well, you're going to get a real true answer right here. So it's really up to you.
I'm confused.
So when I first started, all I had was what came in my kit. And y'all, I'm just telling you, when you join and you get your kit, like be so grateful, because that is not what my kit looked like when I joined. And I don't think that was what Vicky's kit looked like when she joined either, because we're old lady zebras. And I mean that, as kindly as possible, but like the products have just gotten better and the kits have gotten way better. So really you get to decide on like what works best for you. Now, I'll tell you, over time, I did start to build up a little inventory, but this, in my opinion, is not an inventory company unless you want it to be. Now,
You need to make it more confusing.
No, unless you want it to be. You actually, in most terms and services for MLMs, you're not allowed, they call it bonus buying. You're not allowed to bonus buy. You're not allowed to purchase more than you can utilize in a certain period of time. And if they find out that you're doing this, if they find out that you are doing cash and carry, in most MLMs, you can get in trouble, because one of the things that they utilize to pitch a lot of these MLMs is that you don't have to carry any inventory. So if people are carrying their inventory and essentially bonus buying, they're running the business in a way that maybe the actual CEO didn't want it run, and or they are also buying their ranks and their incentives and all of those things. And that's a lot of the reason that some of the time in multiple other videos, you'll see a lot of products behind them, because yeah, they'll try and say, oh, I just buy it for my shows, but I was there. I bought things to get to certain ranks. If you were able to get away with somehow purchasing the product, you would do it. And it still happens within the MLMs. So all of that to say, you're not supposed to carry inventory in most MLMs. And I believe Pink Zebra's terms and services does say it's not encouraged. You're not supposed to be doing that.
People love like to sell cash and carry. And I do always like, I'm sitting next to like a couple cartons of sprinkles. I do like to have things on hand, because someone might reach out and say, oh my gosh, I need a gift. Like, I don't think I have time to order off your website. Do you have anything? And I might. And so if I can help them, then I will. I also personally send a lot of samples out to not only like my customers, but to new people that come my way from parties, or maybe, you know, someone finds me on, you know, social media somewhere and is interested in trying the products. Like, so I always like to have some sprinkles on hand, but in my opinion, it is really hard to have every single scent and every single decor item. So I would say you start with your kit, because that's you know, the requirement to join. You've got to purchase a starter kit. We have 3 of them, and I'll tell you which one is my personal favorite. And you just go from there. Like, our goal is to teach you like how to share the product with other people. We encourage you to host your first party. So with you being the host and the consultant, you get to kind of double dip. You get the money from the party and you get the host rewards, and use those host rewards to order some things that didn't come in your kit. And, you know, over time, maybe you do have a little sprinkle stash, but I would never tell someone that they have to have that. Does that help?
Yes, because to be honest, like I told you, I've been looking into it and I'm really interested in it. And I did sit down with my support group and all this, and was like, their main question was, is there going to be inventory we have to keep in our home? Like, is this all online? I was like, well, I don't quite know yet. So it's wonderful that you invited me so I can ask these questions for sure. Because like, I know certain companies are that way. Like, everything comes from your home. And to be honest, when you live in a small trailer, it's really hard to do that.
Definitely. I mean, I have a lot of things right now. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I have more product here than I normally ever have, but I am grateful that I got a lot of it for free or half price. But you know, I'm trying to contain it in like one space, because if I try and like take over the living room, like, yeah, my husband's like, he's just not gonna be cool with that. So
what is the purpose though? Even if you're getting it for free or half price, okay? What is the purpose of consuming or pretending like you're going to consume all of these products? You can't possibly use so many warmers in your house or so many different scents. This is a overconsumption problem now, when you have people buying all of this shit, but they're not even using it. It's just sitting there collecting dust in hopes that maybe somebody will come along and say they need a gift so they can buy it. Or maybe you'll get into that vendor event that will likely result in maybe a sale. This isn't logical. This doesn't make sense. Just stop the madness.
I totally get it. You know, our website, like, you know, we can order products. And what's really cool is when a customer orders on our website, it gives them an estimated date that their order is going to ship. And our warehouse has been like super on it. So like, nobody really has to wait, in my opinion, all that long for their goodies. Like, I placed orders, I don't know what day are we in? today's Tuesday, like over the weekend, maybe even yesterday. I closed a party yesterday, now that I think about it. And like things from that party have already shipped today. Like I got emails throughout the day of orders that shipped. So yeah, I would say, use that to your advantage. Let Pink Zebra's warehouse be your product warehouse. And then if you do start to build a little stash, we can talk about ways to keep it organized. Like Vicky and I love talking about being organized. Okay, what other questions do y'all have?
Not to like overstep the other lovely guests, but my other thing was if something happened and I ended up having to stop selling. A lot of companies have like that. If you haven't sold all your product, blah, 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 stipulations, like if something happened and I couldn't continue to sell Pink Zebra, is there like stipulations for leaving, or is it just
That's a good question. So we do have like a formal process where you can contact Pink Zebra and ask to resign. They also, and like we never talk about this, but it's good that you're asking. They do have like a buyback program, and I'd have to look it up to be able to really give you the ins and outs. But if you do have product that you've purchased that hasn't been opened, you do have the option to return it, and you get, I don't know if it's like 100%, it might be 90%. But they do have that option in place. And I don't really know anyone who's ever used that, but I know that it exists.
Oh yeah, and this is just like hypothetically, like, because I am a type of person, I like to have all my dots and I's crossed off so I know what I'm getting into. Because like I told you, I've sold most of my life. I've been through multiple jobs this way. It's just I am getting to the point where I want to start being my own boss in a way. And I'm really interested in this company, and I love everything I've seen. I've looked at quite a few companies, and there's always been horrible stories, but I haven't found one yet for Zebra. So
there's a reason that there are so many horror stories with these companies, and that should be a red flag. If you're looking for a business opportunity of some sort and somebody approaches you in an MLM or a network marketing company and there's any kind of recruiting involved, it's not a good idea. Don't do it. Run away.
You have been compromised. Abort mission. Destroy phone.
Don't worry about if they have a buyback program or if you have to carry inventory. If there is a recruiting aspect in any way, run the other way. It's not a good idea.
Super on the point of just like jumping off a cliff, but there was just small things I needed the answers for, like that and the inventory thing. Because like I live in a small trailer with my family, and if something were to happen, like
you're not going to have to like build a she shed for your inventory. Like hi Destiny. So we had a girl on our team named Sarah, and Sarah was in a smaller space, and she got this really nifty like tote that all her Pink Zebra goodies went in, and she, when she wasn't using it, it went in a closet. So you can be organized, and you can have whatever it is you feel like you need and not have it like take over your house. And I'm glad my husband's not here, because like there are times where literally like our whole table is full of like all my stuff. Like I've got my label maker, and I've got, a carton, and I've got my sample bags, and then I got my planner and my laptop. And it's like, wait, I thought you had an office. And I'm like, yeah, but I want to be out here watching TV with you. So you can keep it contained. I promise. All right. What else do y'all want to know?
What comes in the starter kits, and then what would be the next step after that?
Okay, let me share my screen, because technology is fabulous. And I was going to talk about the kits anyway, so this is really, thanks for the segue. That's what I'll say. So let me share. All right, so we have 3 different kits, and it's totally your call on the one that you decide to go with. But I will tell you which one I think is the best bang for your buck. So I guess I'm going to start at the top and go down. Yeah. Or are they even in order? I don't know what's happening. Okay. So we have our deluxe kit, and that is like the big bad mama jamma whole enchilada. It's over $600 in retail value. In it, let's see if I can click on this. Can you see the picture that just popped up?
Affirmative.
Okay. Cool. So that it's still really small. I apologize. But what comes in your deluxe kit is a blend bash. And that is one of our really fun party style options that we have. In that, you're going to get one of our blend bash themes. It comes with 8 cartons of sprinkles. You get one of our simmering light warmers. That's a warmer that uses a bulb. You get an accent shade. You get a bottle of soaks, which is our liquid fragrance. You're going to get one of our bash boxes, which is like, it's a tool that works with the blend bash. Imagine I'm holding it right here. And basically that's so that you can show people like, hey, when you host a blend bash, your friends buy this, and then they come and, mix their scents together. You're also going to get, looks like 2 jars of sprinkles. One or two. I'm looking at the list and I'm looking at the picture. You're in the deluxe kit, you're going to get some of our Just Add Soaks accessories. So like go cards, which are great for cars and closets. You're going to get one of our natural reed diffusers. So you're going to really, and you're going to get our super clean products as well. So we have disinfectant products like hand sanitizer and hand soap and stuff. So you're really getting a full representation of everything Pink Zebra has to offer in that kit. Then I'm going to skip to the bottom. This kit is the one that I say is the best because you get almost everything in that deluxe kit, but it's a little less expensive.
At least she's encouraging people to get the less expensive kit. Most times in MLMs, you'll see these consultants encouraging new recruits to buy the biggest kit because a lot of times they'll have like a bonus attached to it. If the consultant recruits so many people with that specific kit, they get a bonus. On the flip side, we've seen a lot of MLM companies go the route of if you buy the more expensive kit, you get a higher percentage in commission. And I always find that really interesting. I wonder how they're getting away with that. I feel like it wouldn't be allowed by the FTC. Anyway,
Moving on.
So you're not going to get the super clean items. You're not going to get a simmer pot. You're not going to get some of those Just Add Soaks items. But the big thing in this is really those cartons of sprinkles, because what you can do is you can immediately, like once you get your kit, you can start selling those sprinkles and recoup your kit money, which is really cool. Like not a lot of other companies give you like product like, hey, here, go sell this and then just go make back what you spent to be a consultant. Like I haven't really seen it with other companies. In both kits, you're going to get, catalogs, order forms, just like flyers and things that can be helpful. But then we do have a third kit option. And this is our online sellers kit. So you're not getting that blend bash. So you don't have those 8 cartons that you can immediately turn around and sell, but you are going to get catalogs. You're going to get a simmering light. You're going to get soaks. You get a reed diffuser. You get a simmer pot. You get go cards. So you get, and you get like 3 jars of sprinkles and accent shade to go over your warmer. You also get a recent scent flirt pack. That's our monthly subscription program. So this is really good stuff to show on camera. So that's why it's the online sellers kit. It's really like easy to just go live and talk about. It's not, you can obviously make samples from those sprinkles and whatnot, but those are easy things to demonstrate and just show people how to use them. You don't get all of our scent testers. You're only going to get 20 of them, which is the new spring scents. But in the other 2 kits, you get every single scent in the catalog in a tester form. And I don't have one. Actually, I do have some handy. So I'll show you what those look like. So like, it's these cute little pink bags. It's got the scent name on it. It's got, sprinkles in it. You can rip them if you want, but I am mildly OCD, so I have to cut mine. They have to be even or I lose my mind. But yeah, so you're going to get, in the standard starter kit and the deluxe, you're going to get 70 of these because that's how many scents we have in the catalog right now.
Let's talk about that. Most kits that we see here specifically, they have the different things like the bag she was just showing us now. And then she also mentioned like catalogs and order forms. When you join an MLM, they will tell you that all you have to do is buy the kit. But what they don't tell you is that everything that comes in the kit, as far as the bags for the samples and the order forms and the catalogs and the Change Your Life brochure and the flyers, you have to pay for all of those out of your pocket once you run out from the kit. Those don't automatically get refilled. Typically, there is a back office store within the MLM, and that is where you buy all of the things. And even if you don't get them there, you still have to spend your money on those things. Or if you're lucky, you're making some kind of profit, you're able to take that profit and spend that on the supplies that you need. But still, there is a lot of hidden fees and hidden secrets behind joining these MLMs, and they don't talk about that part very often.
So once you purchase your kit, next step is to work with your sponsor, or me, or both of us, whatever. We're all a team, so we all like helping each other, and we're going to help you plan out your launch party. And that's really your opportunity to share your business with everybody you know. The goal from that is a couple things. Number one, you want to sell some goodies, because we have a really awesome quick start program, and you can earn free and half price, or no, free product, not half price. You can earn free product through our quick start program. The other thing is we'd like to help you get some parties booked off that party so that you can keep the ball rolling. Because, you know, if y'all stay after we talk about this, I'm actually talking about ways to find customers. So y'all are welcome to stay and hang out when we discuss that. But like some people, you know, like I have a very best friend of mine that didn't purchase anything from me until like year 5 of my business. So if I had gotten really discouraged that she didn't come to my launch party and she didn't buy anything all those years, and I just wrote her off, then I potentially never would have sold anything to her. But the reality is that our friends and family, like, they love us and they'll support us as best they can.
Looking at your friendships as somebody who will eventually buy from you is so unhealthy. When these individuals talk about their friends and family like they are potential customers for the rest of time, it sickens me. I feel like they need to listen to these trainings back and hear what they sound like. And when I say listen in the shoes of your friend that you're talking about. Say my best friend joined an MLM, and later on I found her doing a training and was like,
my best friend hadn't bought from me for the first 2 years, but I knew she would buy from me eventually, and now she bought from me.
I would feel some type of way about that. Why are you constantly thinking about me buying your product? I'm supposed to be your friend. You're supposed to be my family member, my best friend, whatever it is. Friends and family are not business acquaintances or business transactions. Cut the fucking shit. Thank you. Moving on.
Or maybe they won't. And so the goal is to really get past that warm market, those people you know and love. And go meet some strangers. Like, it's totally okay to talk to strangers. And some of the strangers are going to be like your very best customers, your next host, your next team member. Like, the sky's kind of the limit with that. But really the key to kind of, I think, starting off strong is with a launch party. And it's a really good learning experience because you're going to get to learn how to talk about the product. Like, you know, none of us joined and like knew everything. I mean, I'm still learning things all the time. All right. Any other questions? I kept you here longer than 15 minutes, but I think it's okay.
What about when it comes to like, so I have a lot of family in PA that I feel like would love these products. So would that just be more of an online thing for me to reach out to them, or like create a Facebook page and host a live? Like, how would be the best way to go about that?
So all of the above, basically. Here's the cool thing. There are very little rules to how you share the product and how you decide to, grow your business. So your launch can be a combination of in-person and online. I mean, I would recommend it because a lot of people do know people out of town. You can start with like a Facebook group, and that can be a place where you invite people to come. Like, don't feel like you have to go live on your personal page and like do a lot of stuff there. Like, create a separate place and invite people to come and check it out. And then they can stay up to date on like what's going on with Pink Zebra. But we'll definitely like take you step by step. Like I think you're over there taking notes, which I totally love. You were like, that just warms my heart.
Is that all it takes?
But you will not be by yourself. So don't feel like you have to like have all that. I mean, I know you want a lot of answers, but like you don't have to have the whole roadmap like right this second. Like we'll help you along the way. And you might even think of something that we didn't think of. Like, it's totally possible. All right. Any other questions? Because I'm having fun.
Awkward silence.
I got my hair done, Vicki. I got my hair done today. That's why it looks so sassy.
Even more awkward.
Sorry.
My thing is, like, I don't know many people to, like, bring into it. Because honestly, like I said, I'm a manager of an AT&T store. Like, I don't get out much other than home and work. And that's why I kind of wanted to start doing this. Other than possibly, like, growing my own business on the same side and getting to leave that demanding job I have right now. So like, how easy is it for you to start up with absolutely no one, like that you know how to reach out to?
So
you may have just asked that question, but I was also answering questions in my house, so I didn't hear the full conversation.
No, you're good.
No, I'm like Vicky Becker coming into my job, and that was it. Like I was sold. You know.
Vicky came into your job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so like, okay, that's like such a loaded question, because I'll be honest, like Pink Zebra is a really like simple business. Like, it sprinkles. Like, people sniff them and they go, oh my gosh, that smells awesome. I want my house to smell like that. But like, I would never call it easy, because you're gonna be forced out of your comfort zone a little bit. I know I have been. Like, people, like, you saw me on YouTube, Kat, and you probably, I don't know what assumptions you made about me, but like, if you thought I had it together, or you thought, wow, she really knows what she's talking about, like, that's not always me. Sometimes
We've reacted to her before. I'll just leave it there.
I'm a hot mess express, and so I have had to force myself like out of my comfort zone a little, to like try new things and try things that I wasn't sure I was even going to be good at. So I would say, like, I guess the most important thing I'd say is it's totally possible. You can start with like no one. Like, okay, let's just say hypothetically, like, you don't have friends and family that are gonna support you. Now, you might, but let's pretend for a second you don't. Like, we'll teach you how to meet new people, how to, take that one like great friend you have and like open that network up to like somebody, like a friend of a friend of a friend, and then before you know it, you do know a lot of people. Like, I have built so many friendships over the last 10 years. Like, it's crazy. Like 95% of the people on my team I didn't know before I joined, but I was willing to like get out and meet new people. And there's ways you can do it. I'm sure they probably have like vendor events, like church bazaars and stuff in your area, and that's a really great way to meet new people. So we can definitely teach you. I won't say it's easy, but I will say it's possible. And it sounds like you're not scared of hard work, so you can do it.
No, I'm not. I would just, it's different than being in a store where people come in and that I can push myself onto than me, like, because I'm a very open person. I'm very open and talkative. Like, I don't have an issue with talking to people. It's more along the lines of like, where would I go to find the people? Because
that's a really amazing segue to my training topic for tonight.
Like, I live in like a small town in Georgia. So
okay, so imagine that like the whole United States is your backyard. I want you to think about that, because it really, like, it doesn't matter that you're in a small town. We can teach you like how to meet new people on social media, how to build relationships with friends of friends. Like, we're not going to ask you to like message random strangers. Like, it's not even like that. But like, for me, when I do a virtual party, most of the people that come to that are not people that I know. Like, I know the host, and I probably met her through someone else. Like, I have this whole like group of customers that 5 years ago, I didn't even know, but like one party turned into like 7 others that then like brought me all these customers. Like, I mean, I have customers all the way from like Florida to Alaska, and most of those people I've never met before. So, we'll teach you. I know I don't have like a clear-cut answer, like, because it's not 1 + 1 is 2. It's, let's just start with who you do know, and then we'll just take it from there. And then it's like the ways that you can like kind of put yourself out there on social media. I have a YouTube channel, and you found me that way.
Again, people who are well-versed in business or in whatever it is that they are doing to get paid usually have a better answer than that. They have a better plan, a better layout of, let's just start with the people you know. That is never how you want to go into business. Say you're opening a hair salon. You're starting your own hair salon. Ooh, how exciting, right? While yes, you're going to make your friends and family aware that this is happening because this is a big thing in your life. If they're not already clients of yours, if you're not already doing their hair in a hair salon, you are not going to bank on those people only coming to your salon to keep you afloat, right? You're going to have some kind of plan, or you're already going to have some kind of clientele that you've built up from marketing yourself to new people that you don't know. That's how you're getting those clients. Not by your friends and family.
Just start the business, start with your friends and family, and then we'll figure it out.
Bad idea. Red alert.
Like, I'm not saying you have to start a YouTube channel right away, but that might be something that makes sense for you to start. Or, you know, are you on Instagram? Like, people are searching for Pink Zebra like all the time. We also have like a website, a consultant locator, and people can find you there. Just because you're in a small town doesn't mean that there aren't people in the next town over that are looking for Pink Zebra. So there's just a lot of different ways.
Gotcha. I understand.
Did that help
I
at
got
all?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
It did.
All right.
It really did. I
Okay.
know the dead silence kind of doesn't give that feel off, but it did.
Okay. All right. So,
Melina.
yes.
Okay, I've been trying to talk. I couldn't get my microphone to work.
Sorry.
That's okay. I was just going to say, use me as an example. Like, how did we know each other? I live in Alabama.
I mean, I don't even really know how we met. Through a friend of a friend.
Friend of a friend.
I just kind of stumbled upon her. I was like, she's really nice. I'm gonna like reach out to her.
I try to be nice. I really do. some days are easier than others. but yeah, I know Myra, who's on, is a good example. Like, Myra reached out to me. I think it was over email, and she was like, "Hey, I'm looking for a Pink Zebra person, and like a friend of a friend knows, or my friend knows your friend," kind of thing. Like, we would not have like crossed paths at the grocery store because I'm in North Carolina and she's in Alabama. And you've been my customer now for what, like 2 years?
Yeah, at least 2, maybe 3.
Yeah. And then you just joined in February. Gosh, time just flies. I just can't even keep up with it. It's like I blink and like a day has passed.
I think it was the last day of February, so maybe almost March.
I think it was. So yeah, I mean, it's just wild. Like, it really doesn't matter who you know right now. It's just who you're willing to get to know.
So you would say to purchase a starter kit and then host a party and then kind of go about that way. And then from there, I guess it kind of just takes off.
Well, I won't say that, but I will say, like, you know, the goal at that first party is to get more parties. Now, there's a lot of other ways to work Pink Zebra outside of parties. I talked about vendor events. So that's like setting up at your, you know, church bazaar or community event and meeting new people that way.
Now, I said this in a recent Scentsy video, but if you didn't watch that, I feel like this is a very important fact to know when you are thinking of joining an MLM and somebody comes to you and says, one of the biggest ways to get customers and get sales is going to a vendor event. The first thing you have to do is get into that vendor event. And speaking from experience, most vendor events, if the MLM is well established, even to the extent of Pink Zebra, you will not be able to get into that vendor event. The way most vendor events work is that all of the people who attended the event the year prior will get an invite. They will exclusively get invited for their craft. Hopefully that's what they're doing, but a lot of times it's the MLM. And if they are the MLM that's being invited, the vendor event will not allow any other vendors from that same company. So if there's already a Pink Zebra consultant there, which it might surprise you, but every vendor event that I've been to in the state of Colorado has had a Pink Zebra consultant. If they are already there, you're not getting in unless they say no or they don't have a teammate to hand it off to. Because a lot of times if they can't attend the event, they'll hand it off to the teammate and still RSVP that they're coming because their teammate's coming instead. So that's going to still benefit them. And a lot of times that's what happens instead of that consultant not coming. So the chances of you even getting into a vendor event when you are an MLM representative are so slim unless it's a brand new vendor event, a small new vendor event that no consultant has reached out to and put a deposit down yet.
Parties, in my opinion, are the absolute like best way to grow. And whenever I like feel like I'm kind of in a slump because it happens, I go, all right, I need to book a party. I need to be my own host for a minute. And, you know, either party with some of my customers and get them re-excited and get maybe them wanting to book a party, or I need to go and see like who have I like not shared Pink Zebra with yet. So I would say when you're new, plan on hosting your own party like pretty regularly, because not everyone that you invite is going to come to that first party. So it's like, oh, no big deal. We're doing this again in 2 weeks. You know, can you come then? I'd love for you to come and like check it out and learn more. So yeah, I mean, it can just take off depending on like how things go at that first party. Like I booked 3 parties at my first party. I sold like $800, and I'm not saying that that's what is going to happen for anyone, but like I didn't expect that to happen for me at all. Like I remember looking around my living room and there were a dozen people there, and I'm like, how did I get here? And I'm adding up the order forms going like, this isn't right. This calculator's wrong. But you know, I was really excited to see that's how it happened. But even if it hadn't, I would have just kept going. Like it's totally worth it. I mean, like I'm coming up on 10 years, which is just crazy to me. Like, and so I've been able to like do a lot of cool things and experience a lot of cool things, but I won't say it was always like sunshine and roses. Like some, you know, it's life, but I'm having a lot of fun.
Right.
The more fun I have, like here's what's really kind of wild. The more fun I have, the more I feel like I sell and grow my team. And then that makes me more money. And then that makes it more fun. Like it's just this crazy circle. So I start with the fun, I go sell some stuff, and then I go, oh, I made some money. That's fun. And then I kind of want to just do it all over again. So yeah, once you have your kit, like, or even before you have your kit, if you're like, I really need a plan, we can figure out like all the different ways that you could possibly grow your business. And then you just decide like what you're most excited about. And that's just where you put your focus. That's what I would say.
Ma'am, that is such a generic answer. What are we doing?
What happens like if I host a party and then my mom is like, well, I want to host a party. Like,
and she books the party with you.
But it's still like through me. So then I become like the consultant and she's the host.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So then in that case, like, you know, hopefully she would invite people that you don't already know or that didn't come to that last party. And so then she gets sales, you get new customers, she gets host rewards, and you make some moolah.
I was talking about it with my mom the other day and she was like, I host a party. And I was like, what do you know? Keep telling me. Tell me more.
Yeah. Tell me more. Say more things like that. That's so fun. My mom loves to host parties for me too.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
My mom was like, I wish I knew how to talk to people the way you do. You just talk to everybody. And I'm like,
you know, like I talk to a lot of people too, and I never know if they think I'm like a total weirdo. Yeah. Sometimes I should just probably just stay quiet. Okay. Well, any other questions? If not, I'm gonna like really get into the training because I'm sure the consultants are like, well, you promised me training. Hopefully this was training, like a little bit. I think it was. It was so fun. Kat, Destiny, are y'all good? Question wise? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Most of my main questions were answered, and
Yay.
I'm very appreciative of that.
Okay, good. Well, you know, Kat, you can message me whenever. Like we're Facebook Messenger peeps now, or business. You message me on my business page, so we're connected. And Destiny, you know, Vicky can totally answer any other questions you have. And if like she wants to loop me in, you know, we can group chat or whatever. But real quick, for the consultants who I promised training to, let's do this. Okay. So I promised training on ways to find new customers. So I don't know exactly what like jumped in my head that I felt like maybe I needed to talk about this, maybe because I was feeling it in my own business. It's so funny. Like I'll have a situation happen and then I go, man, how do I get out of this situation? And then I go, oh, that'd be a really good training topic. So I've kind of been feeling like, hey, I think I need some new customers. Not that there's anything wrong with the ones I have, but I can't expect people to buy every single month. Like that's not reality. So I was thinking, okay, how do I get back to basics and focus on the things that I know are going to introduce me to new people? So my husband and I were talking. His name's Jason, for anyone who doesn't know him, and he actually used to be in sales with Pepsi, and so like he's always my sounding board and he's like my creative eye. And so I said, hey, I'm gonna tell you what I'm training about, and he gave me some really good information. So he said it's all about social reach, which kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier about, you know, starting your business and having a network that you can start with versus not. So social reach just means the way that you connect with other people. So I think I said it before, like parties are really an awesome way to grow your network, meet new people, find new customers, find prospective hosts. Like I can't say enough about partying and all the things that it's done for my business. It's also a lot of fun, especially when we're doing home parties and I show up at a host house and there's like, sausage balls and
What kind of party was this?
and brownies and punch. And, I will totally like put on a good show at the party for some little smokies or something. It's just fun. It's fun getting together. And there's so many different ways to party. Like it's absolutely like wild how many different ways you can do it. I'm totally partial to like the in-home party experience, but the last 7 years I've been partying on Facebook, and I've even changed up how I've done that a couple of times. But really at the end of the day, it's like sharing the products with people and helping them make a decision on like what they want to purchase and then going from there. Some of those people at the party will host, some won't. Some will be one-time customers, some will be lifelong customers. But the more people that you talk to, the better your odds are. And the more people you're going to meet. That's really important. So I won't like bore you with all the party talk, but there's a lot of options there. The next is vendor events, which I did talk about. I will say that I do find vendor events to be a little like tiring. Anyone who's done them knows, you've got to get there and set up all your goodies. And I'm an extroverted introvert, so I am very much like social and I like to be in groups and be around people. But there are times where I really just want to be alone. Like sometimes I have to be alone to recharge my batteries. So at the end of a vendor event, the last thing I want to do is like have a lot of conversations with people. Like I don't even sometimes want to talk to my husband, but you can meet a lot of really awesome people at a vendor event. You have an opportunity to sell product, you have an opportunity to book parties, you have an opportunity to share information about the business, get leads and all that. The next is referrals. And I love referrals. So referrals to me feels like the pat on the back for doing an amazing job taking care of a customer. And so I don't have like an established referral program. You can totally create your own. That's the thing I love about Pink Zebra is we really do have like so much freedom and flexibility in like things we do. Like if we want to do a giveaway, we can do a giveaway. If we want to, offer someone a special bundle, like knock a couple bucks off of the price, we can do that. I mean, that comes out of our commission, but like we have the freedom to do it.
Most of the time when we're talking about MLMs and running these personal specials that she's referring to, in the terms and services that you sign, it does say you cannot publicly advertise any kind of personal special. If you want to run a personal special, it needs to be privately with each individual. So we're talking about those fun hey girl DMs that come up every now and then that say, hey, I have a special going on. Do you want to hear about it? The reason they're doing that is because they can't publicly do it. So they're likely just going down their friends list and just copy pasting the same messages over and over again so that they can get the word of this special out. So I feel like that might be important to know when people are trying to make a decision on whether they want to do that type of marketing or not.
So when it comes to referrals, if you want to create your own referral program, you totally can. I have been trying, and I haven't been as great with it lately, but one thing that I'm trying to do is have my customers, when they get their order, post a picture of it on Facebook or Instagram, wherever it is they spend the most time, and like tag me, like show people that they're excited for what they got, and then tag me so that I get a little shout out. And if someone is interested in learning more about the product or trying it, then they know that they can reach out to me. And I actually have, I think I have some stickers that I ordered that I put on like packages if I send anything, or like any snail mail that I send out. Like I'm encouraging people to even share their samples on social media, because I think it'll just pique people's interest. You never know who's scrolling Facebook and they see, a sample pack and they go, wait, what's that? How do I get one of those? And then your, customer or your friend can be like, oh, you need to talk to so-and-so. She can hook you up. The next way that I want to talk about is I'm thinking this is how Vicky met Destiny, just while she was out and about, like in her normal life.
Oh, that's how you meet people? Just go out and about in normal life? That's how it used to be. Okay, you youngins. I'm 37 today. I'm almost 40, remember?
I'm old here.
I think about all the people like over the course of, a day, a week, a month that I'm giving money to, like the cashier at the grocery store. Now I'm not handing her money because I'm putting my debit card in the machine, but like she's charging me for my groceries, my hairstylist, at the girls at the doctor's office or the dentist office, my chiropractor, who else? I don't take my clothes to get dry cleaned, what some people do. The chick at the Chick-fil-A drive-through that's like so happy to give you your, sweet tea and your mac and cheese. It's her pleasure. Like all the people that we come across that we are like, they are giving us a thing and we are giving them money for it. Those are great people to give samples to, or just like if they give you great customer service, I say, tell them. I say, oh my gosh, you're amazing. Thank you so much for like taking great care of me. And I want to give you, do you like fragrance? Because I have a little goodie for you. And then it's handing them a sample. And most people will be like, what is this? And you can like quickly tell them. And that's an opportunity to make a new friend.
A new friend? You're not making a new friend. Your intention is to sell to this individual. Don't sugarcoat the shit. Now, also, please don't go around handing out samples to everybody as tips. I used to be encouraged to do that. A lot of times you'll hear MLM consultants giving trainings on things like this and saying to give a sample with your tip. This is in my opinion, sort of tacky way of doing things. Now, even worse when we're talking about someplace like Chick-fil-A where they're not allowed to take tips. You're not able to give them a cash tip, but they can take a sample of wax melts from you. And that is so frustrating because these people are working hard. They're going and clocking in and getting you your food, and their tip is a bag of scented wax. That's just so up in my mind. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Is it fair? Is it fair? No, it's not. But I don't know. I think that's another issue that doesn't even belong on this channel, and that'll be a big long tangent. So let's just get back into it, shall we? I'm sorry.
I would recommend that if you are doing something like that, like maybe do a monthly drawing, and say, yeah, I do a monthly drawing and I give away a jar of sprinkles every single month. I'd love to get you entered into the drawing, and then either have a way to collect their info, or if you want to be techie, I can teach you how to create like a little digital form that like they can fill out, or you can text it to them or whatever, and they can get entered. And then now you gave them a sample, you have a way to contact them, and it just opens the door. I'm not saying that immediately, like, okay, just because you gave them a sample, they're going to buy, $7,000 from you and host a party and then join your team. But it's you putting yourself out there, it's getting the product in someone else's hands, and it's the start of a relationship. I think about like our business in terms of dating a lot. Like if you and I just met, like, well, let's pretend with Kat and I, like we met on Tinder, but it's not Tinder. It's, we'll call it Zebra. We met on Zebra. So we just met today. She messaged me today. I wouldn't necessarily be like, let's get married. I wouldn't say that today, but I might be like, hey, let's go grab coffee sometime. Like I'd ease into the relationship so that I could get to know her and she could get to know me and know that I'm not a crazy wackadoodle.
What? You're forming a full fake, in my opinion, friendship to sell to them. That sounds ridiculous. That would be like if you're saying the manager from Target has to go and make friends and have coffee with every new customer because they have to build a relationship. I don't need a relationship to go to the stores that I need to purchase things from. I just need them to have the thing that I need at a reasonable price so that I can get it. I just need it to be accessible. You don't need to go to coffee to sell things to people. You're talking about wax melts, not a house, not a boat, not a car, not even a bike. Wax melt. Let that sink
in. And then we go from there. So like, I think about that the same way with the people that were like talking to you about our business, just because I met the girl, like great story, like Target. I met a girl at Target, and I did mention like that I was with Pink Zebra and that it's home fragrance. I was actually like on my way to an event and I forgot my makeup. I left the house with no makeup. So I stopped at Target and bought makeup, which that was really expensive for I literally had nothing on my face, and I was like, oh my gosh, no one will think I'm cute. They probably still would have, but it was weird for me to just be naked. So, I gave her my info because I was like, I don't know if I want to like ask for her info. Like, what if that freaks her out? Like, what if she thinks I'm going to stalk her? But so I took a chance. I just gave her my info, And she ended up texting me like 2 days later after she checked out my website and she wanted to try some samples. And then she, decided to host a party. So we eased into it. But just because you meet someone, you're not going to necessarily like ask them to marry you on the first date. Maybe it happens, maybe not. Okay. Oh, one other thing that I want to say with that, and I'm not necessarily like, sometimes I'm good at this, but like I have a lot of Pink Zebra shirts. I have a hat. I have all sorts of little like logoed items that I could wear while I'm out and about. And you'd be surprised, like people, like I mean this in a nice way, they're nosy. They're like, oh, what's that? What's Pink Zebra? Or stick your nose in my business. What's that about? And then that just opens the door for you to talk. So like, I think that's great for people who maybe are not super like outgoing. Like let them come to you. Like get some wild like zebra earrings. Like it may not be your style, but it might be a conversation starter. I'm all about that. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about social media. I feel like we're going to talk a lot about it because it's so meaty. But when I joined Pink Zebra, I created a business page because it was public and I knew people could find me there. Now I've got my group and my page and they're linked. So if you find me one place, you find me another place. But for the most part, like people who are just stumbling across me are doing it in a like on one of those public places, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. So like there's all those different places that you can show up for your business. And I have a few little like just like tips, and I may have to share my screen just to show these, but like on your personal page, like I personally don't recommend like vomiting, and I say that kindly, but you don't have to vomit Pink Zebra there. Like people know, like if you say, hey, I'm a Pink Zebra consultant, like if you make an announcement, hey, I joined Pink Zebra, here's my kit, I'm so excited. Like not everybody's going to see that post, but a good majority of people will. And so you don't have to post every day something about what you sell or anything like that. But what you can do is you can be strategic and you can link your business page to your personal page by saying you're a whatever title you decide to give yourself. Maybe it's independent consultant, or maybe like mine is Chief Sprinkle Diva.
Come again?
Chief Sprinkle Diva. Is this a term they're actually using?
Whatever you want it to be. I'm the Chief Sprinkle Diva and then I linked my business page. So if you go to my profile, if anyone wants to, Facebook stalk me, they can see like, oh, she's the Chief Sprinkle Diva at blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, what's blah, blah, blah? And then they can click on it. So if someone's really curious, they have a place to go and see it. I do try and like share every once in a while little business nuggets. Like if somebody sent me, let's just say like I won a prize from Pink Zebra. I don't know what that would be for, but like they had a contest and I won one of the prizes and then I got my prize in the mail. I would totally take a picture of that and put that on my personal page because I want my friends and family to like be a part of my journey. But I do the majority of like business related things in my group. I actually haven't been like super, super consistent on my business page lately, but I'm trying to get back into it. I've just been having so much more fun in my group. The other thing I wanted to talk about was like Instagram. I'm still trying to figure things out over there. But I know that if people look at reels, people are all about like video content. And so if you're not comfortable with video, like now's a really good time to get comfortable. When I started YouTube, like almost 7 years ago, I hated the way my voice sounded. I hated the way I looked. I had this weird cadence when I talked that it felt like I wasn't quite sure what words were about to come out of my mouth.
Side note, I will say, if you're somebody who has been thinking about a YouTube channel and starting one, that is how 100% of YouTubers start out, I think. If that's what's holding you back from maybe starting a YouTube channel, don't just get it out of the way. Get that part out of the way so that you can get to the next part.
It was really bad. I didn't know how to edit video. So if I got it wrong, I had to stop and delete and start again. And so I've learned a lot along the way. And I think I talk like I know what I'm about to say now, but like people are loving video. Video is just like, it's king right now in terms of just putting yourself out there and getting exposure, which leads us to TikTok. And I don't have a lot of like good info yet on TikTok, but I am on it. I've been on it for like a little over 2 years. I just got to 1,000 followers like a week or so ago. I've been live. I have not made any business connections on TikTok yet. But I'm going to keep working at it because apparently people are having crazy success. So it's like, okay, well, I'll give it a try. But it's all about just like putting yourself out there and putting yourself in situations where you can meet new people. And so I shared a lot of different things you can do, and maybe you start with one and you add on. I would say for sure with like social media, if the concept of having all these different profiles and pages and groups and all sorts of things like totally overwhelms you, like pick one platform. And I'd say Facebook, because I feel like a lot of people are on Facebook, and there's a lot of different ways you can use Facebook. So like let that be the first place that you get comfortable, and then go from there for sure. The last thing that I want to share though is I'm gonna have to post a link or send y'all the link, but my friend Amanda Todd over at You.This has this amazing PDF called a booking shuffle, and I think you can get it for free. I'm gonna go and double check that before I get too excited, but I'm pretty sure she has it as a freebie on her website. She does. Okay, so I'll make sure that I share the link. And basically what the booking shuffle is it is a resource that teaches you how to turn a stranger into a friend. Because like I said, you wouldn't immediately ask someone at Target, the girl checking you out, like, hey, you want to have a Pink Zebra party?
Probably not ever.
But, if you warmed her up a little, got to know her, built a relationship, built a rapport, she likes you, she knows you, she trusts you.
Still no. Don't do that to your Target cashier, please, God. What? That's not how we used to meet people. Oh my God.
You basically take her to the point where now it makes sense to say, hey, you haven't had a Pink Zebra party yet. What do you think about getting some friends together, on Facebook next week or whatever? I'll share what's new and awesome with our products, and you can earn some free and half price goodies kind of thing. So I'll make sure everybody gets the link to that, because I think it's pretty fabulous. It's very helpful. But that's all I have. Thanks for hanging with me. We did this for an hour, which is actually not bad. And I'm going to get ready and go eat ice cream now. But before I go, does anyone have any questions that they want to ask? Anything?
I am good. So I'm going to jump off here, and Melina, hopefully we can chat tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I'll, you just text me when you're ready to chat.
All right, darling.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Awesome.
Talk to y'all later.
Have a good night. I'm going to stop the recording, y'all.
Wow. Yep. She is always so fun to watch. She seems like such a sweet person, and I'm sure she is. So absolutely no hate to her. It's the business model that is encouraging this behavior. I hope she gets out. She's still in, I believe. We reacted to a more recent video of hers. I'll make sure it's linked in the description of another training she did. Anyway, it's time for our palette cleanser. TikTok hates your bullshit.
$98 for pajamas. If I buy $98 pajamas, that's a gift for myself. And you know what? For anybody that works at home, you can wear those for Zoom meetings. I'm wearing them out to lunch, dinner. Those are not just pajamas for in the house. They're for outside the house too. I'm getting my nails done in them. Clearly, I'm not the demographic for $98 pajamas, but they are really cute. I checked them out. They are adorable. But then again, I can get the same comfort wearing one of my husband's shirts around the house. You know what I mean? And speaking of husbands, look at this adorable plant he got me. Little pine plant with fake snow on top. Isn't that adorable? He always thinks of me. And it smells just like Christmas.
If you haven't heard about the pajama saga, I'll link things about it in the description. It's a whole thing. It's the new TikTok For You page thing that's going on. There's probably something new since that happened, since I put this video out, that has taken over the pajama saga. But if you haven't heard of it, it's pretty great mindless scrolling if you want to check it out. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.